I bet we're live and it's recording and I didn't even know. Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Hello, friends. I hope you are doing wonderfully. Happy Thursday. It is nearly the end of the week. I just realized my Fitbit is just like dragging that down, so you're all getting a bit of a flash of a boob. It's nearly the end of the week, and I couldn't be any more excited for the weekend and not to be staring at a screen, which will be nice. But yeah, how are you guys? Please let me know in the comments. Are you watching this on replay? Type in replay. If you're watching live, type in live. I want to see who is around. If you're a little bit confused as to why this face has popped up on the screen and not my account, the answer is I have no freaking clue. Facebook are playing around with the whole live situation. They're trying to make it harder for us to go live. Um, don't know why. Very inconvenient. Might mean that we need to switch it up a little bit, but who knows. Thank you so much for joining me. You're probably all wondering what the freaking hell weight loss has to do with pencils. Um, Not particularly pencils, but I'm probably going to say pencils or pens. Okay, I'm going to interchange them. If I say pens, I mean pencils. If I say pencils, I mean pens. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because it came up in a client it came up in a client call. And do you know what? I wanted to jump on live today and I had no idea what I was going to talk about. And then the second call that we had today, it was with a client, and we ended up talking a little bit. And if you know me, I am a queen of analogies, right? I absolutely love an analogy. 75% of the time, they don't actually make sense, but I don't care. People nod and they say, yeah, I get it. So, it is what it is. Typically, I think my Amazon delivery is just being delivered. Why is it every time I come on live? If it's, thank you. I don't know if it's us, but I think that's me. Anyway, so um, we had hi Katie, thank you so much for joining. So yeah, we had a call this morning, and this really resonated. And I know that a lot of people, a lot of women, including myself, have been through this, and it just worked really well. So I wanted to share this with you and hope that it resonates with you too, and that it helps shift and change your own energy, your mood, and ultimately the behaviors and habits that you have too. Okay, so bless him, my partner's gone out to suss it out, see if it's mine. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. It usually always is. Anyway, let's get into it because you're 2 minutes in, you're already babbling. So, if you are someone who feels very emotional around a lot of things. I am a Cancer myself, so I am typically very emotional. And I have always struggled with taking on board criticism, negativity, other people's words. And for some people, it really hits hard. So even your own words, right? If you even speak negatively about yourself, if you find that it takes you a while to get over a little bit of criticism, maybe someone has said something about your body or your health or your looks in the past, and maybe that's just stuck around, right? These things happen, especially as kids and teenagers. Kids and teenagers are nasty, they're mean, right? And if someone says something back then it kind of sticks in here. Like, I can assure you, I could probably list all of the things that people have mentioned to me in the past, and it's just stuck around. And then that creates like a insecurity and maybe a little bit of sadness sometimes when you think about it, even a trigger. So if it comes up again later on in life, and maybe it's just like, oh yeah, but I don't like that part of my body. Maybe it's your belly or your legs or your arms, and probably because someone said something about it in the past. And like I said, it just sticks in here, just sticks around, right? Ultimately, um, before I get into it, I just want to give you another example. So, with my client this morning, we talked a lot about. She came to me and she said, "So and so and so and so are really pissing me off at the moment. They're really getting on my nerves, and they're involving me in stuff that's not like me to deal with, but." Their family, right? So she's really close with them, and she's kind of they're bringing her into their own drama, into their own shit. And she said to me, it's really, really pissing me off, and it's getting me down. And ultimately, what happens with this particular client, and I see this a lot with people, is we have to have some sort of safety mechanism, some safety blanket, or somewhere, some way to comfort ourselves. Now, often, especially with a lot of the women that I speak to on a day-to-day basis, and me involved in the past as well, often that will either be alcohol, drugs, or food. And yes, I classify food under the same umbrella. If it's a vice and it's not supportive of your health and your goals, then it should be classified under the same roof, right? Especially sugar, considering statistically. Okay, I can't, probably shouldn't say this because I don't know. I think I saw it on What the Health, what sugar is 80 or 90% more addictive than cocaine, which, by the way, is insane. So yeah, that's why I categorize food underneath the same umbrella. And so because she was getting a lot of negativity and negative emotion, a lot of feedback, a lot of talking from these people that she couldn't avoid, it's very difficult for her to avoid. She was then really struggling with her coping mechanisms, and typically her coping mechanisms could be food and alcohol. And of course, she's on a weight loss journey. She didn't want to resort to those, but she was finding it very difficult to cope. Now, of course, we have looked at different coping mechanisms, tools, and stuff to implement, but it was just getting a little bit on top of her. And I said to her, how come their drama is affecting you? And she said, well, they're roping me in, they're telling me this, and they're telling me that. And this is where the pencils came in. And she was saying about how they would say negative things to her, and they'd be like, yeah, but why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So they were like having their own arguments, and then they were kind of like taking it out on her, right? And I said, they can't piss you off. I said, this person and that person, they can't piss you off. And she was like, well, they can, because, they said this and they've done this. And I said to her, they can't piss you off. Nobody can upset you. Now, I'm not condoning any behavior. So please, please don't come at me. I'm not condoning any negative behavior, verbal abuse, or any negativity towards anyone. I think everyone should love everyone in this world, right? But are no, no, let me hold that one. I haven't got notes. I haven't got notes today, so my brain is going like 100 miles an hour. Can you tell? So I said to her, nobody can piss you off. Nobody can make you upset. Ultimate, also on the flip side, no one can actually make you happy. No one can make you excited. And she was like, what do you mean? And so I said, okay, obviously we're on Zoom, so I had to like shove it in the camera. And I went, take this pen. And she took it, and I said, how do you feel? She was like, fine. And I went, give me back the pen. And so I took it, and I said, oh, this pen, I don't like it. It's not, it doesn't work for me. It's not left-handed. In fact, like, I can't believe you thought that of me. Like, did you really think that this was my color? It's not very nice of you to give me this pen. I would rather have a different pen. And you know that I'd rather a different pen. You know that I like my highlighters. So why didn't you give me a highlighter? Um, okay, well that's really kind of like upset me. And of course, you're probably watching this, and she was watching this going, what the fuck are you talking about? Have you absolutely lost your nut? And so I said, okay, that was one example. Now give me another pen. Luckily, she had two pens. So she handed over a pencil this time, sorry. She handed me a pencil, and I went, do you know what? This one's really, really nice. And I think it goes well with me. I think it complements me. And I really, really like it. And this means that you love me. This means that you've given me this. This means that you really must like me. And I like that and I appreciate that. And she was still like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Bianca. And I said, okay, okay, okay. Now, I'm going to hold this pen here. What you've done, this pen or pencil, it represents someone's thoughts and opinions. Okay. So they've given you a thought and opinion, which, by the way, is not fact. A fact is you have black hair, or grass is green, or it's raining outside, which is UK, so of course it is. A fact is that. The fact that it's miserable and it's raining outside is a thought. The fact that you've got ugly brown hair is a thought. The fact that I've got a childish dress is a thought. Options. You can either take it and take it to heart, and you can really sit on that pencil or pen. Please don't do that. You'll end up in A&E. But you can really hold that and you can harbor it and you can make it mean that you're ugly or fat or miserable or negative or whatever it is, whatever insecurity you might have, you can make that thought, this pen, mean that. Or you can make the thought mean something positive, something wonderful, that they love you. You can make it mean this, right? So they take it, but you provide the funnel. You provide this funnel, so it either goes this way negative, or it comes in and goes this way positive. Or there's a third option. You can just fuck it off over your head. Okay? So you can either bring it in and think negative. Why am I suddenly profusely sweating? I have no idea, but I've just literally started sweating like I'm a woman in menopause. Oh my God. Is this what it's like, ladies? Jesus. So you can bring in a pen or a pencil and you can take it negatively. You can bring in a pen or pencil and you can take it positively. Don't forget the pen or pencil is someone's thoughts and opinions, which is not fact. Or you can take it in and go, okay, and screw it off, right? It doesn't necessarily mean, thanks, Katie. I appreciate that I look beautiful. Thank you. Okay. Katie just gave us a beautiful example. She can say you look beautiful. So Katie's just popped in the comments, you look beautiful. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Katie. That's very kind of you. So I could take that and go, she's being sarcastic. And tell me tell me you have never done this. Honestly, tell me you have never done this. How many times someone's given you a compliment and you've turned it right around? And you've gone with their pen or pencil. Katie says you look beautiful. That is a fact. No, I'm joking. It's a thought. It's opinion. She's given me that, and I've taken it this way, and I've gone, thank you so much. But how many of you have taken it and gone, she's being sarcastic? Do you know what? I think she's being sarcastic, and she's just trying to one up me, or whatever the situation is or scenario is. Or you deflect it and you say, oh yeah, but you know, my hair just looks crap. I didn't do my makeup well enough, and I didn't do this, and you know. So you've taken their thought and opinion, and then you've turned it negative. Now, this funnel is utterly your choice. Remember, someone's words and opinions cannot physically hurt you unless they punch or kick or slap or anything worse. They cannot actually affect you. It is what you make that mean about you that it then starts, then you then take it personally. Now, there's a great wealth of power in this. As soon as you realize that your brain is the funnel, you have so much freaking power over your emotions, your mood, your thoughts, your actions, and behaviors. I'm on fire today, guys. Right. So, does this make sense? Katie, I think you're the only one with us at the moment, so you're going to have to jump in. Am I making sense? So you are the funnel, and there is so much power in this. That means that if anyone comes in and says negative or positive, you get to decide whether they have an effect or a hold over you. And how much power, how incredible is that to know that you have that power and that nobody can hurt you. They can physically hurt you, but they can't with their words. And until you make their words mean something about you, that is when you are letting down your side of the responsibility for yourself. Okay. Again, I'm not condoning anyone that turns around and says anything negative about anyone. That's not the point. The point is you can't change anyone else. How many times have you tried to change your partner or an old friend or an ex or your mum or your dad? How many times have you tried to change someone? It's never going to happen. You can influence them, but you can't change them. So if you can't change them, they're not going to change. So they're probably not going to speak differently or act differently. Therefore, to protect yourself, to live in a better place, a better mood, to not let words and people's opinions affect you, affect your habits and your daily routines, you have to be, as Katie says, yes, Katie, you have to be that gatekeeper. Okay. Just checking the time because I've got a client call in 15 minutes. Okay. And here's another part of the analogy, right? Here we go. I need this one. Right. I'm coming back. So imagine someone gives you a negative thought. Someone gives you another pen. That's a negative thought. Someone gives you another. That's a negative words, let's say. Opinions, thoughts, words, opinions, thoughts, words. And you're going throughout your day and you're taking all of this on and you're taking all of these thoughts and opinions on and you're thinking, wow, I feel shit. Oh my God, this makes me feel like crap. I must be ugly. I must be broken. It's my fault. All of these negative thoughts, all of these pens and pencils you're holding onto, right? You need to process that. If you're not processing by holding on to it, right? If you're just like holding on to it and thinking negatively about yourself, you're just clutching. And ultimately, when we need to let go, when we have no space left, that is when we use a vice. That is when we use food or alcohol. So, what are you doing? You're not getting rid of them, you're just masking them. Now they're in a different hand. Well, what are you going to do with them? And again, this is when we just keep getting fuller and fuller and fuller, full of these negative comments because we keep holding on to them and letting them make something mean about us. You know what I mean? Stumbling over my words here. Let it make something mean. Let it. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean. And so what you've got to do is process this. There's two ways to process it. You can either say, "Oh, that's really nice, thank you." Oh, okay. Or you can say, "Doesn't affect me. Doesn't bother me. That's your opinion, not mine." Right? And you can go, "Okay. I hope no one comes into my apartment right now because I've got pens everywhere." And you can just get rid of them because you're not letting them affect you. In turn, you're not needing to turn to a vice. You're not needing to eat or stay unhealthy, unhappy, low mood, low energy, low self-esteem, because it doesn't matter. And you can just screw them off over your head and get rid of them. I wanted to share this with you today because it was a really powerful analogy that I had, and this is now the third time that I've had to go around and pick up a load of pens, but I hope that it makes sense and it resonates with some of you. You are the gatekeeper. As Katie said, yes, I love that word. Thank you so much for putting that in there. You are the gatekeeper. You are the funnel, right? People are going to give you their thoughts and opinions. That's the world. You cannot change that. We cannot change that. People are going to give them to you. Now you get to decide, do I make that mean something negative about me? Do I make it mean something positive about me? Or do I just say, thanks for your opinion and move on? When you recognize that you have the power and ability to funnel people's comments, opinions, and thoughts, you have the ability to completely overhaul the way that you think about yourself. I hope this resonates, guys. We've got a 5-day challenge coming up next week. Day 1 is about rewiring your brain. So much more about this. From day 1, people already start seeing a complete difference, a complete overhaul in the way I just spat everywhere, in the way that they perceive themselves, in a way that they have been holding themselves back, they get out of their own way, right? We've had many, many women come through this 5-day challenge, and it has been incredible. One of which has lost now 15 pounds, and then it was so 13 pounds. Sorry, so she's lost 13 pounds in 2.5 weeks, which is insane. Beverly is losing 11 pounds. Katie, I don't know how many ridiculous pounds you've lost so far. So many women have just come through and just shedding pounds from just the 5 days alone. We start next week. I want you all involved because this is truly transformational. And I'm not just blowing smoke up my own ass because I am doing this with all the comments because I'm storing it over here. I'm not just blowing smoke up my ass. I swear this is the best challenge I've ever done. I have put out many challenges before, none of which deliver the same amount of value and the same amount of accountability and the same amount of joy and excitement as these ones do. Katie, 15 pounds in 3 months and counting. Oh yeah. It takes a lot of practice, patience, and perseverance. I think I just added an extra word in. If it's embedded from childhood, yes, I'm still working on it, but I've definitely improved. Yes, Katie, you're smashing it. Think about the pencils. Think about the way that you funnel because it's your responsibility. Nobody can upset you. Nobody can piss you off but you. You probably all didn't want to hear that, but it's our responsibility. All right. Much love. I gotta go because I've got Lorna. Come on down, Lorna. Let's get in your coaching call, girl. All right. Take care, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye.